you and a very warm welcome to the Turning Point in association with LNW on TNL, a weekly show to be broadcast the same time each Friday, and our first program. So thank you very much for tuning in. And our first guest is a unique character. We're going to be talking banking, and he knows banking literally inside out. He's a veteran banker himself, a trade unionist, and recently launched his autobiography, My Journey Across Time and Trials. None other than, of course, Mr. Rusiripala Tennekoon. Very good evening to you, Mr. Rusiripala, and thank you very much for being on the Turning Point.
Thank you very much. Good evening to you as well.
Thank you, and many congratulations on the launch of your book, which it's meant for compelling reading. Mr. Rusiripala, you've had perhaps a rather unique perspective on the Bank of Ceylon, having led trade unions to oppose its privatization, and fast forward to today, the bank has grown significantly with an asset base of over 5.3 trillion rupees. Looking back, Mr. Rusiripala, do you think the bank's evolution has been in line with your vision for it? And what changes would you like to see in the banking sector over the next few years?
Well, the bank, with a very long back start, as far back as 86 years ago, has started and had its journey. And it has grown up to the largest bank, to be the largest bank in Sri Lanka, virtually dominating the banking industry in every aspect. In any analysis, when we apply the criteria for assessing the size of a bank,
Yes.
Bank of Ceylon is leading in every aspect. Number of employees, asset base, lending, in all aspects. And profit-wise, so it has achieved a remarkable status in those perspectives. Okay, but well, there's a big question behind it.
Yes.
Whether the objectives expected from a state-owned bank is fulfilled to the extent of the expectations is something that we have to look at a little critically.
May I ask whose expectations?
I mean, the bank, there was a need for the bank to come in.
Yeah.
Mainly the expectation arises from that.
Yeah.
Why was the bank formed in the first place? In the 1930s.
Yeah.
Very strong need was felt for a state-owned bank because there were no other banks owned by anybody in Sri Lanka. The banks were all foreign-owned and imperial banks. But in that context, there was a very strong need for an indigenous bank to look into the requirements of the indigenous community, the trade, agriculture, industry, in all those aspects. So the bank's birth was that. So over time, the bank has accumulated profits, increased the asset base, and dominating in the market scenario. So they're doing very well.
Right.
But the point is that can be achieved by various methods. Profits can be earned, and your asset base can be increased. But have you addressed the basic requirement or the need that compelled those who strive to get a bank during the colonial period for the country? That is the question. That is the focus that I am making on. Otherwise, in all other respects, Bank of Ceylon is above board. Bank of Ceylon is leading, and it has the highest market share, and it dominates the banking industry in the country.
So, Mr. Rusiripala, what do you say is the primary achievement of the Bank of Ceylon Is it that they made profits, or is it that they through their activities, they managed to um, get the economy rolling, making monies available right across the island to perhaps some people who may not have met the criteria of, let's call them, the private sector banks. Is that what is that like the main success of the bank, Ceylon?
No, in the subsequent period, when you draw comparisons,
Yeah,
you are doing it in a different context, in
yeah,
a climate.
yeah,
See, the beginning of the bank was in an entirely different thing. That those conditions don't exist today.
yeah,
What exi- what existed then
yeah.
is no more today. But in the process of time, in the passage of time,
Mm.
there were various other needs and requirements that grew up. Those are in the national interest. You see now what a private sector bank does, which is basically profit oriented.
Mm.
They have to earn profits to do justice
Mm.
to the people who have contributed capital. That's the main idea for a private bank.
Mm.
There are shareholders who will want profits, their share for their investment. That aspect is different from a state-owned bank, although it is a bank,
Mm.
because it is their main purpose is not to be the leader in profits,
Mm.
to be the leader in holding the assets.
Yeah.
There's something else. So, for example, if a state-owned bank
Yeah.
does not make quantum-wise that amount of profit,
Yeah.
instead, it contributes to the development of the economy of the country.
Right.
Don't you think that it is a way of uh, earning better profits for the country?
Mm-hmm.
Because when you are developing
Yeah.
an economy, it gets spread all over.
Yeah.
All the beneficiaries
Yeah.
are participants of
Mm.
that process, and they generate profits. When they generate profits, it adds on to the productivity,
Mm.
it adds on to the GDP of the country.
Mm.
Although you don't make profits by yourself,
Yeah.
you are contributing to the country's economy, which is a more wider, broader aspect. That is why
Yeah.
I don't look at a state-owned bank
Yeah.
in the perspective of how much profit they are making.
No.
That's not the criteria.
Mhm.
How much are they contributing to the economy is the most important factor.
And how do you think the government can balance the need for economic growth with the need for financial stability in the banking sector?
Well, for the first and the foremost thing is the financial inclusion of all the sectors
Yeah.
in the country.
Yeah.
In that perspective, the bank has reached the people adequately, satisfactorily. So financial inclusion is there, but you also need to supplement that financial inclusion with a service factor
Mm-hmm.
that is needed by the various groups of the society for various functions.
Mm-hmm.
Has it been addressed properly, adequately, is the question. Because for us, if you look back,
Yeah.
the concerns of the bank has been different from time to time.
Mm.
Now, you take the early 2000s or the period before, the bank had to devote much more for the development of the agriculture in the country.
Mm-hmm.
They went on establishing agriculture service centers all over, running up to about 300 units all over the country,
Yeah.
in far remote places,
Yeah.
because that was the focus. that was the need of the government which owned them.
Right.
There they were serving
Yeah.
the requirement of the government, which was a policy-based thing.
Mm.
Government's policy was to develop the agriculture. Developing agriculture means you are becoming self-sufficient.
Mm.
You don't become dependent anymore.
Yes.
To achieve that, the government was trying hard to make use of the banking industry, their inclusion,
Mm.
financial inclusion, to be converted to achieve that target.
Mm.
So therefore, the focus mainly during those periods
Yeah.
was to improve the agriculture and assist in that.
Right. And as you've been following the whole industry as we keep going on, and so what do you see the state-owned bank's role, like the Bank of Ceylon and the People's Bank, playing in Sri Lanka's economic development over the next decade?
Well, that is the big issue that all of us have.
I thought you were going to say that that might be the big question. But no, let's
Yeah,
carry on.
yeah.
Let's be serious.
That's a very, very big issue.
Yeah.
Because banks today are required to perform a task adjusting themselves to the requirements of the day.
Yeah.
The banks can go on making profits because they have been following a certain pattern to develop profits.
Mm.
I don't want to go to statistics when later on we
Yes.
go into the statistics, I will show my point.
Yeah.
But then they can't proceed in the same direction for profit targets, towards profit targets,
Yeah.
forgetting the current context.
Mhm.
Now see the situation immediately after the virtual depression that we went through 2-3 years ago. What was the main defect? We did not have sufficient production in this country
Mm.
to stand by ourselves
Mm.
independently for even 1 or 2 years
Mm.
without support being given from other countries, without
So
depending
in a
on
way,
others.
we kind of led a hand-to-mouth existence.
Exactly,
Mm.
exactly. So this is a very serious thing. Can it happen again?
Yes.
Should it happen again? So isn't that a thing that the government should pay more attention to,
Yeah.
and the banks also should fall in line? Basically, it's the government that sets the policy.
Yeah.
When the government sets the policy, the banks fall in line.
Yeah.
But today we see a situation, even where priorities have been identified by the government,
Yeah.
declared by them,
Yeah.
it appears that certain things are not taken seriously by the banks,
Mhm.
particularly by the state-owned banks, which they are not expected to do. They are expected to go hand in hand with the policies of the government. Many aspects are going astray
Yeah.
without being addressed in the way that they should have been addressed.
Okay, I just want to take it on to, let's say, to the modern world now. What, Mr. Rusri, with the growth of the digital space, let's call it, and digitization and so on, what of physical branches as we know it? As you know, the more we move towards digitalization, it appears to me that the branches, the actual physical branches, will disappear. Do you see, coming from trade union perspective, people's perspective, do you think that's a good thing, bad thing, mediocre thing, doesn't matter?
Well, you see, we don't expect a robo-operation
No.
in the digitalization.
Yeah.
The digitalization that we aspire
Yeah.
to come in is something to expedite the work,
Yeah.
to fasten the work, and to avoid the delays and provide a quick service.
Yeah.
Now, take for example
Yeah.
the effect of digitalization
Yes.
in a rural society
Yeah.
where the, the background nature of the rural society is
Mhm.
not geared to absorb the benefits of the digitalization.
Mhm.
So you have to look at it that way.
Mm.
It is not a sort of a panacea or something that we can say, okay, you do go to digitalization, that will solve everything.
It's not the answer to everything.
That is not. I don't know,
Yeah.
to my mind, digitalization has to take place
Yeah.
because it helps you in a number of ways.
Yes.
In the banking sector, to expedite various things which otherwise would take ages, the digitalization can help to finish in a moment.
Mhm.
That's good.
Yeah.
But then the entire gamut of things that you address
Yeah.
or you can address under the digitalization,
Yeah.
under the focus of the digitalization,
Yeah.
is not everything that the bank is expected to do.
Mhm.
That is a thing that we have to take into account.
And if we move on a little bit, Mr. Spala, if we imagine a scenario, if the private sector banks are cautious in terms of the lending perspective, if the private sector banks are cautious, should state banks be ready to take greater risks?
Of course, the idea of running a bank under the ownership of the state
Hmm.
is their ability to face
Yeah.
risks far beyond what the private sector would agree to face
Hmm.
or accept.
Hmm.
You see, that is why, even after the Bank of Ceylon was formed,
Yeah.
how did the Bank of Ceylon first come? As a state-aided bank.
Hmm. Hmm.
The state council days, those state councillors
Hmm.
fought hard.
Hmm.
They fought heavily
Yeah.
to get the bank, indigenous bank,
Hmm.
under the ownership of the state,
Right.
calling it a government bank.
Mhm.
The London office of the state council never allowed it.
Mhm.
And the bankers who ran the industry,
Yeah.
who were controlling the industry, never allowed that to happen. That is why the proposal to set up an indigenous bank, when there was no such bank,
Yeah.
was brought in 1932 by George de Silva,
Mhm.
the proposal. It took 2 years
Right.
for the state council to appoint a commission in 1934,
Right.
what is called the Pochkanawala Commission, Soraji Pochkanawala Commission, with a given mandate to look into the feasibility
Hmm.
of the steps to be taken to set up a state-aided bank.
Right.
When the proposal was unanimously, the commission report was unanimously adopted by the state council
Right.
and submitted to the London office, wholesale rejected. Nothing doing.
Hmm.
We don't want the government to do banking.
Right.
That was their stand.
So, but the state banks have a track record, and there is an identifiable need to have state banks.
Exactly, that's why I want to come to the point.
Yes.
After the Bank of Ceylon was established,
Yeah.
people like Philip Gounod, who were state councillors, who had a certain objective direction,
Yeah.
to serve the downtrodden people,
Hmm.
to serve the farmers, to serve the people who need to be assisted by a bank,
Hmm.
said, finally, ultimately, after all these agitations,
Yeah.
we got a bank which is far away from the objectives we had in mind.
Mhm.
He said that.
And then on the same sort of theme, if you like, Um, and because of the well-reported sort of, let's say, favored loans or favored advances to people who would probably have failed a fit and proper risk management committee and their concerns. So, how strong in that context, how strong and independent should the risk assessment committee be?
Of course, that is one of the very essential things in banking.
Yeah,
If you go run short of that,
yeah,
you see there can't be any mistake there. The moment you have any relaxation at the risk assessment center,
yeah.
that means your entire lending goes haywire.
Mhm.
You see, that has happened in a number of cases in the state-owned banks. Not only in the state-owned banks, to some extent, the private sector banks also do make that mistake.
Yeah.
The risk assessment is a factor
Mm.
that has to be addressed meticulously and with greater degree of honesty and integrity. If there is any relaxation,
Yeah.
the result is obvious.
And last question about that. We are, of course, in conversation with Mr. Rusiripala Tennekoon, a former chairman of the Bank of Ceylon, a significant activist with the trade union movement, and having launched his book, My Journey Across Time and Trials, has kindly accepted our invitation to turn up on the Turning Point in association with LNW on TNL and ask and answer some more questions about the future of banking, especially in the state bank, the Bank of Ceylon. So, Mr. Rusiripala, what about these legacy loans given to, shall we call them, politically exposed individuals?
Well, I think, I don't know this categorization of politically exposed people. The
Yeah.
banks use that term
Yeah.
because in fact there is a column in the KYC also.
Yeah.
They're asking the question
Whether you're
whether
okay.
you are politically exposed.
Yeah.
I don't know how to deny that or how to accept that. You know, everybody is politically exposed directly or indirectly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Directly or indirectly.
Indeed.
You can be the applicant, but you can be the supporter of somebody who is backing you to get this.
Mm.
So that is a political exposure. Unless they are thinking of people who are into politics
Yeah.
in the public scenario, should be assessed or separately looked at. That is, I don't know.
Mm.
I don't know in the first place why they have a thing like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, it is there in place.
Mm.
But you see, it is not I don't think that it is important to assess the background of the borrower
Mm.
or the customer. To that extent, if you are analyzing other aspects like the feasibility of the project,
Mm. Mm.
viability of the project,
For which this money will be used.
and the security part,
Yeah.
if you analyze those,
Yeah.
I think this individual concern
Yeah.
is not a serious factor.
Mhm.
You can be the worst political animal,
Yeah.
but if you are offering sufficient security
Yeah.
and your project is extremely viable according to the analysis,
Yeah.
I mean, what is there to worry?
Mm.
From the lending perspective, unless of course you are directed not to lend to the political animals in the opposition camps or something like that.
Yeah.
Other than that,
Mm.
you don't achieve anything.
And Mr. Rusiripala, how do you see it? What have you identified any changes to procedure or to the rules, so to speak, which will aid the growth and the sustainability and the reach of the Bank of Ceylon? What are there any specific things you'd like the government to consider to?
You see now, as regards the reach, the Bank of Ceylon has sufficient branch network
Yeah.
spread well across the country.
Yeah.
They have sufficiently equipped themselves with ATMs and other facilities in the places that they have identified carefully
Yes.
that they are needed.
Mm.
So to that extent, the reach is adequately satisfactory.
Mm.
That is not only the reach is there,
Yeah.
but if your reach is only to mobilize savings and collect those funds
Yeah.
and go and dump it in the government securities and earn interest on that, is that a function that is required or you expect from the banks?
Mm.
Whereas I will show you some statistics.
Yeah.
You analyze this, you started with the asset base.
Yeah.
You started with the asset base.
Yes.
You said that the Bank of Ceylon has so much of assets.
Yeah.
True. Do you know where those assets are?
Spread about into every nook and cranny of the country.
No. Majority of them are in government stock.
Oh, I see.
Do you expect that, accept that as a satisfactory situation?
No, I don't think so.
That is what is happening. I can give you the statistics for us.
Mm.
I did an analysis of the financial situation as published
Yeah.
as of December 2024. The Bank of Ceylon's total asset base is 4.9 trillion,
Mm.
of which 64%
Mm.
is in government stocks.
My goodness.
So
Well-
what is your lending to the development?
So there, okay.
You have lent
So
something.
that's where the change needs to
This
come.
is absolutely,
Right.
absolutely. The banks, banks would be very happy to show profits because investing in government stocks today
Yeah, you're getting
is the
guaranteed
easiest and the safest for anybody to do.
return. But it doesn't reach the rest of the economy.
What does it do to the economy?
So
They
to,
make
to
profit.
boost the economy, everybody's talking about it, that the economy needs to be boosted. This is one thing that needs to be done.
Most
Mr.
certainly.
Rusiripala Tennekoon, thank you very much for being on the Turning Point in association with LNW and broadcast on TNL. You can watch us every week, same time, same place. And if you have any questions, please send them to by SMS or by WhatsApp to 0772 300 305. Our next guest, by the way, for next week will be the very interesting gentleman. He has created Sri Lanka's first all-electric car, and that's only part of the story, but it's interesting as our guest today, Mr. Rusiripala Tennekoon. Thank you, Mr. Rusiripala Tennekoon.
Thank you, Faras, for inviting me.
And thank you on behalf of the people of Sri Lanka for your sterling efforts in fighting the privatization proposed all those years ago to state banks. Although, another program, you might want to come and tell me why it is that spectre has raised its head yet again. Thank you.
If you permit me to say a last thing,
Yes.
we are coming into a situation of the same difficulties that prompted the government to consider privatizing them is cropping up now.
And that's the danger.
And that danger must be known.
Thank you very much, and that's the way it was on the Turning Point in association with LNW on TNL. Take care, and God bless you all.